The huge science ship, Earth Hope, floated quietly in space. Dr. Han Juwu stood at the main window, looking at the strange alien ships nearby. These ships belonged to the Galactic Council, a group of different alien species who ruled most of the galaxy. After years of sending signals into space, humans had finally made contact with aliens. Dr. Han, the council representatives are ready to meet us, said Dr. Song Mina, walking up to him. She was Earth's best scientist for studying alien life. Her white lab coat had many pockets filled with testing tools. Good. Let's not keep them waiting, Han replied, straightening his blue uniform. He had practiced this moment many times. He knew the future of Earth depended on this meeting. The meeting room on Earth Hope was large and bright. The human team waited nervously as 6 different alien species walked in. There were tall ones, short ones, some with scales, and others with fur. Each alien looked completely different from humans. "Welcome to our ship," Han said clearly. "We are honored to meet the Galactic Council." The tallest alien, covered in golden scales, stepped forward. "We welcome Earth to the galactic community," it said through a translation device. "I am High Council Member Tech. We have watched your species grow for many years." Dr. Song watched the aliens carefully through her scientific eyes. Something seemed odd about their movements. The furry alien on the left was breathing faster than normal, and the small blue one kept touching its head. As they talked about trade and sharing technology, more strange things happened. Tech's golden scales started to look dull. The blue alien sat down suddenly, looking sick. "Is everything okay?" Han asked, noticing the changes. "Just tired from the long journey," Tech said, but its voice sounded weak. "Please, tell us more about Earth's medical science." Dr. Song moved closer to Han and whispered, "Something's wrong. Their body language shows signs of illness." Before Han could respond, the furry alien fell to the floor. Its breathing was very fast and rough. The other aliens rushed to help, but 2 more of them started feeling dizzy. "Medical team to the meeting room. Now," Han called through his communication device. He turned to Dr. Song. "What's happening to them?" "I don't know," she said, pulling out her testing tools. "But whatever it is, it's affecting all of them at the same time." The ship's medical team ran in wearing protective suits. They helped the aliens to the medical bay, but more symptoms kept showing up. The aliens' skin changed color, they couldn't walk straight, and they seemed confused. "We need to contact their ships," Han ordered. "Tell them we're having a medical emergency." But when they called the alien ships, they heard similar reports. Aliens on every ship were getting sick. No one knew why. Dr. Song worked fast in the lab, testing blood samples from the sick aliens. After an hour, she called Han to the lab. "Dr. Han, look at this," she said, pointing to her computer screen. "Their cells are being attacked by something we can't see. But here's the strange part. We've been exposed to them for hours, and none of the humans are sick." Han looked at the results with worry. "What does this mean?" "It means," Dr. Song said slowly, "that whatever is making them sick doesn't affect humans at all. And if it's spreading this fast..." She stopped talking, but Han understood. This was supposed to be humanity's big moment, their first step into a larger universe. Instead, it had turned into their worst nightmare. As Han looked through the window at the alien ships, he knew everything was about to change. They had made first contact with alien life, but now those aliens were fighting for their lives. And no one knew why humans were the only ones not getting sick. 3 weeks after the first meeting with the Galactic Council, Dr. Kim Do-yeon sat in his office at the Global Space Medical Center. His desk was covered with reports from across the galaxy. Each report told the same scary story. Aliens everywhere were getting sick. "Doctor, you need to see this," said his assistant, running into the office with a new report. 3 more species just reported their first cases. Dr. Kim rubbed his tired eyes. He hadn't slept well in days. "How many species are sick now?" 42 different species on 37 planets, the assistant said. And the numbers keep growing. The doctor turned to his computer screen, where an alien scientist with purple skin was waiting to talk. This was Dr. Kim's daily meeting with the council's medical team. The situation is getting worse, the alien scientist said weakly. My own people started showing symptoms yesterday. We've lost 20% of our medical staff already. Dr. Kim nodded sadly. It's the same pattern everywhere. First comes the confusion and weakness. Then the body stops working properly. We need to find out why this is happening. Just then, his phone rang. It was Dr. Song Minna from the Earth Hoax ship. Dr. Kim, we found something important, she said. The virus is changing as it spreads. It's getting stronger. But humans are still not getting sick, he asked. No, not a single human has shown any symptoms, Dr. Song confirmed. We've tested thousands of people who had contact with aliens. Nothing. Dr. Kim walked to the big screen on his wall. It showed a map of the galaxy, with red dots marking places where aliens were sick. There were so many red dots now. Play the spread pattern, he told his computer. The screen showed how the sickness had moved through space. It started at Earth and spread out like a wave. Look at this, he said to Dr. Song. The sickness follows the space travel routes. Every ship that leaves an infected area carries it to new planets. Should we stop all space travel? Dr. Song asked. It's too late, Dr. Kim said. The virus is everywhere now. Stopping ships would only trap sick people away from help. A new message appeared on his screen. The Galactic Council was calling an emergency meeting. Dr. Kim joined the video call and saw faces filled with fear. Many council members were sick now, and some seats were empty where leaders had already died. We need answers, said one council member, his blue skin looking pale. Why are only humans immune? Did they create this weapon? Dr. Kim stood up straight. This is not a weapon, he said firmly. We're doing everything we can to help. All of Earth's medical resources are focused on finding a cure. Time is running out, another council member said. 2 smaller species are already extinct. We've never seen anything spread this fast. After the meeting, Dr. Kim walked to the research lab. Hundreds of scientists worked there, studying the virus day and night. Some looked at human blood, trying to understand why it was immune. Others tested different medicines, hoping to find something that would work. Dr. Kim called a young researcher. We found something in the human genetic code. It's strange, like the virus has been there before. Dr. Kim rushed to look at the results. As he read them, his eyes grew wide. The answer was hidden in human DNA, in marks left there millions of years ago. But what did it mean? And could they find a cure before it was too late for the rest of the galaxy? Dr. Lee Haijin stared at the test results in her lab at the Earth Science Center. Her hands shook as she read the numbers again. After weeks of studying human DNA, she had found something that changed everything. This can't be right, she whispered, but the evidence was clear on her screen. The virus killing aliens across the galaxy wasn't new at all. It had been on Earth for millions of years, hidden in human DNA. She picked up her phone and called Dr. Kim Do-yeon. You need to come to my lab right now, she said. I found where the virus came from. 20 minutes later, Dr. Kim rushed into the lab. His face showed how tired he was after weeks of working on this crisis. Show me, he said simply. Dr. Lee pointed to her computer screen. Look at this part of human DNA, she said. It has marks from an ancient virus, one that infected Earth creatures millions of years ago, before humans existed. She clicked to show another image. The virus didn't die. It became part of our DNA. Humans learned to live with it, but it stayed inside us, sleeping. Dr. Kim leaned closer to the screen. And now it's awake. Yes, Dr. Lee said. When we met the aliens, something woke it up. Maybe their different biology, maybe something in their ships. But now it's active again, and they have no protection against it. Just then, Dr. Song Minna joined their video call from the Earth Hoax ship. Her face looked worried. The death numbers are getting worse, she said. 4 more species went extinct yesterday. Dr. Lee shared her findings with Dr. Song. As she explained, Dr. Song's eyes grew wide. So humans aren't just immune, she said. We're carriers. We've been carrying this virus all along. And we didn't know, Dr. Kim added. We couldn't know. It was hiding in our DNA for millions of years. The 3 doctors sat quietly for a moment, thinking about what this meant. Humans had walked into the galaxy carrying a deadly weapon they didn't know about. They had caused this disaster without meaning to. We need to tell the Galactic Council, Dr. Lee said. They need to know the truth. Will they believe us? Dr. Song asked. Many already think we did this on purpose. Dr. Kim stood up straight. We have to try. This information might help us find a cure. The virus is part of us now. Maybe that's the key to stopping it. They called an emergency meeting with the council. Fewer alien faces appeared on the screen now. Many were too sick to attend, and others were already gone. Dr. Lee explained her discovery. She showed them the evidence in human DNA, the story of how the virus had become part of human biology over millions of years. We didn't create this virus, she said. We didn't know we carried it. But now that we know, we can help. Our bodies know how to fight it. Maybe we can teach your bodies too. The council members listened quietly. Some looked angry, others looked scared. But they all understood one thing. Humans were their only hope now. Time is running out. One council member said, every day more of us die. If you can help us, you must do it now. Dr. Lee looked at her colleagues. They all knew what they had to do. It was time to start the biggest medical project in human history, finding a way to share humanity's protection with the rest of the galaxy. Park Ji-ho stood before the remaining Galactic Council members. As Earth's ambassador, he had to explain humanity's plan to help. The council chamber, once full of different alien species, now had many empty seats. Earth is opening all its medical facilities to help sick aliens, Park said, his voice steady. Every hospital, every research lab, is now working to find a cure. A tall alien with gray skin stood up. Your help comes too late, it said angrily. Half of my people are dead. Other species are already gone forever. Park took a deep breath. He understood their anger. We didn't know we carried this virus, he said. But now we take full responsibility. Earth will do everything possible to save those who are left. In the main medical center on Earth, Dr. Choi Yuno worked with her team day and night. They study how human bodies fought the virus, trying to find a way to help aliens do the same. Look at this, she said to her team, pointing to a screen. Human blood has special cells that kill the virus. We need to find a way to give these cells to the aliens. But it wasn't simple. Each alien species had different biology. What helped one species might kill another. They had to be very careful. Dr. Choi's phone rang. It was the hospital director. We have 3 more ships coming, he said. They're full of sick aliens. All the other hospitals in their star system are closed. Everyone there is dead. She looked around her crowded hospital. Every bed was full. Aliens lay in hallways, in offices, anywhere they could find space. Human doctors and nurses worked without rest to help them. We'll make room, she said. We have to. Meanwhile, some humans started to protest. They gathered outside spaceports and hospitals, holding signs that said Earth first and closed the borders. Ambassador Park met with Earth's leaders to discuss the problem. Some people are scared, he said. They think helping aliens might somehow activate the virus in humans. We can't close our doors now, said the world president. The galaxy trusted us enough to make contact. Now they need our help. Dr. Choi's team made a breakthrough that evening. They found a way to take the protective cells from human blood and change them to work in alien bodies. But there was a problem. We need too much blood, Dr. Choi told Ambassador Park. To save even one alien species, we need thousands of human donors. Park thought for a moment. Then he went on global television. He told everyone about the blood donation plan. "We need volunteers," he said. "Many volunteers. Without your help, entire alien civilizations will die." The response surprised everyone. Millions of humans came forward to help. They stood in long lines outside hospitals, waiting to give blood. Young and old, from every country on Earth, they came. "Why are you here?" a reporter asked one old man waiting in line. "Because we're all part of the same galaxy now," he answered. "If we can help, we must." In the hospital, Dr. Choi watched the first alien receive treatment made from human blood. Everyone held their breath, hoping it would work. The galaxy's future depended on moments like this. Dr. Nam Seojun walked through the quiet halls of the Galactic Medical Center. 60% of all alien species were now extinct. The remaining aliens worked desperately with human scientists to find a cure before it was too late. In his laboratory, Dr. Nam studied the latest test results. His team had made an important discovery about human blood. The antibodies in it were special. They could fight the virus in ways that might help the aliens. Dr. Nam called his assistant from the door. "The council needs to see you right away." In the council chamber, only 7 members remained from the original 30. They looked weak, but their eyes showed hope as Dr. Nam entered. "We have found something promising," Dr. Nam said, showing them his research. "Human blood contains natural defenders against the virus. We might be able to use these to create a cure." The council leader, barely able to stand, moved closer to see the results. "How sure are you that this will work?" "Our tests show a 70% success rate," Dr. Nam replied. "But we need more human blood donors, much more than before." News of the discovery spread quickly across Earth. The World Health Organization set up donation centers in every city. Humans everywhere watched special broadcasts explaining why their blood was needed. At the largest donation center in Seoul, thousands of people waited in line. A young woman named Kim Minju stood among them. She had traveled all night to get there. "It feels strange," she told the nurse who took her blood. "All these years, we thought we were alone in space. Now we're the only ones who can save everyone else." In the research lab, Dr. Nam worked with his team to process the donated blood. They had to be careful. One mistake could waste thousands of donations. Time was running out for many alien species. "The first batch is ready," he announced after 3 days of non-stop work. "We need to test it now." They chose a young alien from a species that was nearly extinct. Only 40 of them remained alive. The alien lay quietly as Dr. Nam injected the modified human antibodies into its body. Everyone in the lab held their breath. Hours passed. Dr. Nam checked the alien's vital signs every 15 minutes. Slowly, the signs began to improve. "It's working," he whispered, checking the results again to be sure. "The virus is getting weaker in their system." The news gave hope to everyone. But they needed more donors. Much more. Dr. Nam calculated that saving just one medium-sized alien species would require blood from 10 million human donors. Earth's leaders called an emergency meeting. They had to find a way to get enough donors quickly. Every day without a cure meant more aliens would die. "We need to tell people the truth," Dr. Nam said in the meeting. "If we don't get enough donors in the next month, half of the remaining alien species will be gone forever." They decided to share everything with the public. All the research, all the numbers, all the risks. Humans had to understand what was at stake. The response was overwhelming. People everywhere wanted to help. Schools, offices, and factories set up donation centers. Humans understood that they weren't just saving alien lives. They were saving the future of the galaxy itself. Dr. Yang Minho sat in his laboratory, surrounded by complex machines and tired scientists. After months of research, he had finally found something important. His hands moved quickly across the computer keyboard as he checked his discovery one more time. "This is it," he said quietly. He had found a way to make human antibodies work better in alien bodies. The new method would need less blood from each donor, which meant they could help more aliens faster. He called Dr. Nam Seojin right away. "I found a way to make the cure stronger," he explained. "We can save 5 times more aliens with the same amount of human blood." Within an hour, the main research lab was full of excited scientists. Dr. Yang showed them his discovery on the big screen. He had found a way to copy the most important parts of human antibodies and make them stronger. "Will it be safe?" Dr. Nam asked, looking at the test results. "Yes," Dr. Yang said. "We tested it hundreds of times. It works even better than the old method." They took the new discovery to the World Health Organization. The leaders listened carefully as Dr. Yang explained his findings. This was the best chance they had to save the remaining alien species. "How soon can we start?" the WHO director asked. "Right away," Dr. Yang answered. "But we still need millions of donors. Even with this better method, we need a lot of human blood." The WHO organized the biggest blood drive in human history. They called it Operation Galaxy Life. Every country joined the effort. Cities set up donation centers in schools, offices, and sports stadiums. Television stations showed stories about the aliens who had been saved by human blood. In New York, a young teacher brought her whole class to donate. In Tokyo, company workers went together during lunch breaks. In Rio de Janeiro, people danced and sang while waiting in donation lines. Some people were scared at first. They'd worried about giving blood to aliens. But when they saw the aliens getting better after treatment, more people wanted to help. Dr. Yang worked day and night with his team to process the donations. They had to work fast. The blood couldn't be stored for long. Every day, more aliens arrived at Earth's hospitals, hoping for treatment. One morning, a small alien child recovered completely after getting the new treatment. It was the first full recovery they had seen. The alien child's parents cried with joy. Pictures of the healthy alien family spread across Earth's news channels. More success stories followed. Species that were almost extinct started to recover. The number of sick aliens began to drop for the first time since the crisis began. The Galactic Council members who had survived the virus met with Earth's leaders. They were amazed by how many humans had helped. Millions of people had given blood without asking for anything in return. "Your people have saved our civilizations," the council leader said. "We will never forget this." Dr. Yang watched from his lab as more recovered aliens left Earth's hospitals. He thought about all the humans who had donated blood, all the scientists who had worked without rest, all the people who had come together to help save alien lives. "We did it," he said softly, looking at the latest recovery numbers. "We really did it." Commission Director Kang Ji-young looked out the window of her space station office. 6 months had passed since they found the cure. Now she had a new job, helping rebuild alien civilizations that the virus had nearly destroyed. Her computer showed reports from across the galaxy. Many alien species had lost more than half their people. Some had only a few hundred survivors. They needed help with everything: food, medicine, and rebuilding their cities. Director Kang, her assistant, called through the door. "The first reconstruction ships are ready to launch." She walked to the launch bay where 20 huge ships waited. Each ship carried human doctors, engineers, and teachers. They would help aliens rebuild their worlds and teach them how to protect themselves from the virus in the future. These aliens were once the most advanced species in the galaxy, she told the human crews. Now they must start over. "We will help them, but we must respect their ways and their culture." The ships left Earth one by one, heading to different alien worlds. On each planet, the story was the same. Empty cities needed fixing. Broken machines needed repair. Sick aliens needed care. On a planet called Blue Haven, human engineer Lee Jae-yun helped rebuild the aliens' power stations. The aliens had beautiful blue skin and were known for their advanced technology. But the virus had left only 2,000 of them alive. "We found your old plans," he told their leader, showing them drawings on his tablet. "We can rebuild everything exactly as it was before." The alien leader touched the screen with shaking hands. "These were built by my grandfather. it said. We thought all of this was lost forever. At the same time, human doctors trained alien medical workers to use the new medicines. The aliens had to learn how to make the special treatment that protected them from the virus. Dr. Choi Yuna traveled from planet to planet, teaching alien doctors. Your bodies are different from ours, she explained to a group of alien medical students. But now you have some of our protection. You must learn to keep it strong. Back on Earth, Director Kang got good news every day. Alien populations were growing again. Cities were coming back to life. Schools were reopening. But everything was different now. The aliens had to change how they lived. Their immune systems were not the same after the virus. They needed regular treatments to stay healthy. Some species had to wear special suits when they traveled in space. We are not who we were before, an alien council member told Director Kang. But we are alive, thanks to humans. Now we must learn to live in this new way. 1 year after the cure, Director Kang visited a rebuilt alien city. Children played in the streets again. Markets were full of people. It wasn't the same as before, but it was a new beginning. We have lost much, the city's leader said to her, but we have also gained something. True friends among the stars. 20 years had passed since the Great Virus Crisis. Captain Ba Hyunwoo stood on the bridge of his ship, the Guardian Star. It was the biggest ship in the human protection fleet, built to help and protect alien civilizations. The galaxy had changed much in 20 years. Humans were no longer the newcomers. They had become the guardians of the galaxy, protecting and helping other species as they grew strong again. Captain, his first officer called. We're receiving a message from the Bright Ring system. They're ready for their yearly medical check. Captain Ba nodded. The Bright Ring aliens were one of the species that had almost disappeared. Now there were 50,000 of them, living in cities rebuilt with human help. Every year, they needed special medical care to stay healthy. Set course for Bright Ring, he ordered. As the ship turned, he remembered how things used to be. Before the virus, humans had just been learning about space travel. Now they had ships across the whole galaxy. The Guardian Star carried everything the aliens might need: medicines, building materials, and teaching tools. Most importantly, it carried hope. Wherever the ship went, aliens knew help had arrived. In the ship's medical bay, Dr. Kim Min-soo prepared for their arrival. He had been treating aliens for 15 years. Each species needs different care, he told his young medical team. We must be careful and respectful. The ship landed on Bright Ring's main spaceport. The aliens there had beautiful crystal-like skin that sparkled in the light. They welcomed the humans with songs, an old tradition of their people. 20 years ago, we thought our song would die forever, their leader said to Captain Ba. Now our children sing again, thanks to Earth. But not everything was perfect. Some alien species had died out before the cure was found. Their empty worlds were sad reminders of what was lost. Humans kept records of these lost species, promising to remember them. The Galactic Council still met, but now it was different. Humans had a permanent place there. They helped make decisions about trade, exploration, and protecting all species from new dangers. We learned an important lesson, Captain Bay told his crew one evening. The galaxy is not just about being the strongest or the most advanced. It's about helping each other survive. The Guardian Star visited many worlds that year. On each planet, they saw how aliens and humans worked together. Some aliens were learning Earth languages. Some humans were learning alien sciences. They shared knowledge, culture, and friendship. In schools across the galaxy, young aliens learned about the Great Virus Crisis. They learned how humans, who had just joined the galactic community, became the ones who saved it. The story taught them that help can come from unexpected places. As Captain Bai wrote in his final log that day, 20 years ago, we thought first contact would show us our place in the galaxy. Instead, it showed us our purpose. We became the guardians not because we were the strongest, but because we were there when the galaxy needed help. That is a responsibility we will never forget.